Almost ready, so when we jump into that one, it's going to be the time to see whether Fable or 1UP will be the ones to take this starting Week 2 victory, or if it's going to go, oh, well, either team takes the win, I should say. But I guess especially for 1UP, as we've already said once, they're the guys who need to come out on top here. They're the ones who we looked at last week, and you can kind of see, and I think they're a very motivationally driven team. If they're emotionally damaged and they feel they've been kind of toyed with a bit, they will feel quite demotivated. And we saw that when they played against Gamer Juice a couple of weeks ago before that first game, and last week's defeat could not have felt good against Vex.
No, I think that 1UP definitely wanted to do a good start, getting off in their group. I think that them losing to Vex was quite a bit of blow to confidence, in my opinion. I think that if they do manage to pull it back this week and they do take a 2-0 victory, I think the confidence will boost greatly with 1UP, because I think confidence is such a big factor for many teams, as then that leads on to different momentum and stuff like that there, and it'll make them want to work harder, knowing that sense of winning, of course. But then I think Fable as well, they did quite good. I want to say quite good. There was a bit of silly errors from Fable, especially their map picks, I would say, is going to be the biggest issue. But I think that Cafe might be able to suit their aggressive playstyle, which is going to be, I'd imagine, shown here, as we are going to be having Fable, I believe, on the defense first, and then it is going to be 1UP on the attack.
Absolutely it is. And Capital being picked up, we spoke about him a couple of times and said we're going to see him get a buff pretty soon as well. But seeing him being picked up here, it's almost like players are preparing for that buff and they want to start getting used to him now, fitting him into their strats. So when he does come online with the buff when it comes through, he's going to be only even more impactful than what they've already discovered him to be.
Yeah, looking at the kind of push that I can already start to see coming out from 1UP, it looks to be a B push coming in from them windows. So that is something that you typically don't see. We do more than likely usually have people push in from that cigar lounge or piano, whatever you want to call it. Again, it differs between different people. I prefer to call it piano. But looking at this kind of push, it seems to be that they're going to try and get rid of anybody inside this anchor position. Typically, you'll see the free armors playing behind here, like such as we do see like Mira, stuff like that there being played. Also, Echo is quite common as well in Cafe, which is interesting as well, as he's very good at stopping the plant and different stuff like that.
Absolutely is. Castle being taken away, I wouldn't say it's a huge surprise, but definitely not what you'd expect to see in some cases. They're just trying to hold themselves in as best they can. Of course, if you get something close enough, they'll be able to bring it down, but Kimbe is going to open up the first kill of Week 2 onto Rami, one of the MVPs for Fable last week.
Yeah, Rami did put in a big shift, again, as one of the newer players to the scene, especially being put in a big team such as Fable, who was quite dominant for many seasons, of course. And I think that Rami will perform quite well on this map. I think that it suits him very well with the more passive playstyle, which Cafe does always have with different mirror windows and smoke, stuff like that there. But quite surprising, we're seeing no smoke or no echo on the side of Fable. So this will make it really hard for them stopping anybody wanting to push in through them windows. But at the moment, it seems to be that 1UP definitely do have control of them windows and also has control of the skylight. So it's going to be a quick drop, I would imagine, as these capital bolts are going to start to get fired in as well.
It's really, really good for creating that smoke screen to give you some safety going in, but the diffuse is going to come down, like you say. 1UP having a pretty good opening and getting some kills with the skylight. That's Kimbe's second of the round. Finally, Nasher will come online and return one onto Greedy Willow, but they are still at a disadvantage here. 1UP are the ones in control.
Yeah, they look to go for that long arm diffuse. The reaction is actually going to go for the long arm diffuse. They are going to stop it, and that is going to be the defenders winning that round in a situation where the attacker should always have that victory whenever the bomb gets planted inside that B area. It's so simple just to watch it from them windows. And being able to use that long arm that we talk about so much, where it's basically where you can hit the diffuser without actually being really close to it, which is a really good strategy for a lot of teams wanting to go for them sneaky diffusers that we do see. But I think that 1UP should have punished them for trying to go for that.
It felt bizarre because despite having it planted just inside the window, like you said, they never really threatened it. We saw Nasher get the one kill, and that was literally the last kill we saw of the round. There was a good 5 to 10 seconds where no one went down, like you say, where the attackers could have peeked that window and prevented the diffuse, but they don't, and Fable will upset 1UP, it feels, a little bit in the first round. They probably felt like they should have had that one. It was a great push using Capital, just didn't come off for them.
A very unique push, to say the least. We don't really see that too often. That is going to be then that A window push. Typically, we'd see a bit more grenades being brought. Possibly the IQ also could have been picked, which would have been a good operator, I believe, as well, as then she could have fired more nades into it, of course. Now we will be move on to 1UP's first defense, as they are going to be bringing the Legion, which is going to be another interesting pick, possibly to slow down some of them attackers wanting to push in and play aggressive, as we have talked about Fable being a very aggressive side, as they have the gun skill to back it up, as they have players such as Nasher, who we know can do work, but will he show it in this game?
That's the key one. You need to show it consistently across every single week of the Prem if you want to have a chance of making it to LAN, which, of course, if you did miss it earlier on, is on the 10th and 11th of March. Be sure to get some tickets for that if you want to get yourself involved and see these boys in action. However, seeing what else is coming out in this round, Blackbeard being picked up, which we didn't see last time round, which I really like on this map, because everything you're trying to do is generally peeking through a window, whether it's going for the aggressive diffusers inside the window, whether it's trying to look through to train. Chances are you are going to be peeking a window somewhere, so taking that Blackbeard can be a very, very sensible pick. And who better to play it than Nasher?
Yeah, Blackbeard is going to be a great pick for this map particularly, because it is a more window-based map, as we do see two windows beside the A, which we did see 1UP push. Possibly Blackbeard would have been good for that push as well. That 1UP, as then he could have really solidified their presence on that window. As most defenders know that if there's going to be a Blackbeard on a window, you know not to peek him, or else he will punish you, of course. Looking at this little corner that Willow is playing, is one of the most commonly used positions to hold that cigar area. As, again, it's a bit like if you think back to Coastline and you think about Aquarium, that is also going to be like another little cheesy corner that most defenders do like to play, as then it does give this complete control of that cigar running as well. And again, you can also aggressive peek onto these windows if you choose to.
Absolutely. It's probably worth mentioning what the fan votes were as well. In collaboration with Six Nation HQ on Twitter, we have been running all these fan polls, and for this game in particular, Fable have 38% chance of winning according to the community, and 62% are in favour of 1UP. Maybe that's just a very strong fan showing coming to their rescue there, because from what we've seen so far, it feels relatively balanced, although we are only 2 rounds in, of course, still with a lot more to play.
I think that looking at that vote poll, it just shows the sheer confidence that the 1UP fans do have in their team. Again, 1UP is a very big org, I would say. Now they are starting to find their way in. They have qualified for the 6th Invitational, of course. And I think that their org is really supportive for most of their teams, I would say. Looking at a great kill, that's going to be Nasher out off the game. It's going to be a Blackbeard dead, as Kimbe does get the kill with that area that he is notorious for playing, of course. And behind that deployable shield, which I also did not see, that is going to be able to just lock down this entire door, and also this skylight drop, which a lot of attackers want to go for as well. And having that shield, it means you can't get shot in the feet, and you also cannot get capo arrowed as well, I believe. So already we do now see the attacker starting to come in and start to pressure the bomb site.
Well, they know exactly where Kimbe is, and they really want to take that head clean off his shoulders, but can't quite find it. Be careful how far they go for the peek here, because they're getting sprayed all the way through into stairs. Reaction will have to rotate downstairs, but they get a kill onto Mop as he tries to go for the rotation himself. And Willow is down here. Nigma is lurking, trying to let his ally get back to safety. Looks like he will be able to do so. No one's going to be peeking him today, so they will save him and keep this as a 4 versus 4.
So we do see now Rami pushing in and does pick up the kill under Willow, who was down in Reaction, gets a kill on Enigma. 10 seconds left on the clock. Kiz does get 1 kill on to Twirl, but now we are going to see Noxa push in with that diffuser. He just has to stick the plant and hope that his teammates do cover him. At the moment, Kimbe and Kizza are starting to tear up the rest of his team, and Kizza, I believe that's going to be a free piece from that round, getting that last minute shotgun kill, and that is going to be 1UP getting a point on the board.
Madness, really, when you think about it, because Kimbe has been the big standout player for me in these last couple of rounds. And again, last week it was all about Mop with 17 kills. Everyone else had 10 or 11 kills. There was that bigger divide between them. But today, Kimbe is the one rocking up with these kills. And of course, Kizza, he's contributing towards the skill board, the scoreboard as well, even with those double shotgun kills at the end. So even now at 1-on-1, you could argue 1UP threw away that first round by not covering that window correctly when they went for the plant.
Yeah.
So you could argue in this case it would be a 2-0 to 1UP if they played that one correctly. However, 1-on-1 is the scoreline, and every single point can count, because later on, especially as you get towards the end of the map, if you start losing it, whether through motivation, whether through you running out of ideas, that's when Fable can sweep in and take the map.
So now looking at our first train museum and also fireplace. Very interesting bomb site. I wouldn't call it the best because due to the fact that there is going to be a big massive hatch inside that connector room, which is going to be in that train area. And looking at the way I would imagine that Fable are going to try and hold it, it's going to be a top floor control, as there's going to be one key thing that how to play Cafe correctly and how to actually win. It's all about that piano control, that top floor piano, cigar lounge again, whatever you want to call it, this room here. It is going to be a really big key factor that a lot of defenders want to try and keep the attackers from getting into, as look at that wooden floor, it is just screaming to be bucked open. And looking at the side of 1UP, they do have the buck, so I would imagine that's going to be the main area that 1UP want to try and get into and start controlling, as then that does open up that entire A bomb site and then also that connector room as well.
It's very reminiscent of Clubhouse when you're trying to attack the basement and you just open up all of the corridor, all of the kitchen, and try and get as many angles down there as you can. Like you say, getting control of that room is crucial, but it also presents a very good opportunity for the defenders, because you can waste time. If you can hold that room for even a minute, suddenly you can drop down through the hatch yourself if you really want to, and by the time you're downstairs, they've got a lot less time to play with. They're going to start making mistakes, as we see so many times over. In this case, though, these kids are making a mistake as reaction will open the kills in this round.
So big kill, that is going to be Habana off the board. Again, she does have them Kairos pellets, so that is going to be the only way that 1UP could have got the hatches open. I don't know if the hatches has been reinforced or left open for possibly these roamers to start trying to rotate down the bomb site if something does occur downstairs. We do see the Blackbeard being brought once again, which again is going to be an amazing pick, as he is just going to control that entire A bomb site from that single window. And it does seem to be that 1UP are going to try and gain control of this piano room by trying to push in via that cigar shop area, but that is going to be a bit of a kill. A kill corridor for Fable, as all they need to do is just peek around, do C4s, whatever they need to do, just to stop anybody trying to push in from that area.
Still got Enigma lurking around, as you would on the Blackbeard, quite sensibly. He's aware there was, of course, a window hole there. Must be careful with the rotation as well if he gets cleaned up too quickly. Speaking of cleaning up, Mop takes down Reaction, bringing it to a 4 versus 4. They're starting to make their moves with 1 minute and 20 left on the clock. Still quite a bit of time to try and enact any strategies they may have to mind. Enigma is just keeping watch here as well, watching all these little holes, seeing who he can catch out, but is eventually going to opt to go upstairs and join the rest of his team. Like you said, they want to get hold of Piano and start pushing downstairs. They've got to do that soon, though, because they've got 1 minute left on the clock. They may have control of upstairs, but they haven't really opened up the downstairs just yet.
They need to start working quick, because 58 seconds on the board, I don't think it's going to be enough time for them to start getting rid of these anchors inside that connector room, of course, which just completely shuts down Blackbeard trying to hop in towards that A. That hatch is not going to be reinforced, so that is then going to be an easy way for them to clear out that A bomb site. Also, I thought it was going to be a big worry losing Keza off the bat with the Habana, but Mop can come and start opening up this floor, as he does catch a glimpse of that mirror, but Nasher is going to get the better of Mop in that scenario, but then Kimbe does get the trade out on the knocks. A lot of trade outs in this round so far, which is always, like I always say, it's going to be a great sign of a good team.
Still lurking on this window. Enigma has spent the last 2 minutes hovering here, but hasn't really done much. They're just watching for those runs coming through, the angles being watched, but as it stands so far, no one is dared even contesting. They know that Blackbeard is lurking, but Kimbe will bring down Nasher. Kimbe gets the second. He is on fire in this game so far, bringing down Rami at 3 versus 1. They go for the plant here in towards Train. If they can get this down without losing any members, and they'll go for the spray, they're going to bring him down. Enigma has to get the pistol out, though. They might lose here. Finally, with the pistol, Kimbe picks him up, but that must have been a heart and throat moment for the team.
That was calling it close, to say the least. I think that Blackbeard should have shut him down straight away, should not have been able to run in to that bomb site as he did. But Kimbe with a really big round once again for his team. I believe that was a 4K for him, and Kimbe is definitely the lead runner for the kills during this game.
Absolutely, look at that. 8 kills to Kimbe. Talk about stepping up in 3 rounds. This is what we were talking about. I mean, previously, as said, Mop had 17K over their game last week. I think it was 15 rounds for them last week, maybe 18. I can't fully remember. But either way, he was their standout performer. And now in 3 rounds, almost 3 kills average per round, Kimbe is stepping up huge.
This is what I expected from Kimbe last week. I know that he is very gifted with his gun skill. He can run with the best of them, such as Reaction, such as Scythe also last week, and Prox as well from Vexed. Possibly Kimbe didn't do as well because he was up against quite tough competition in terms of gun skill, and possibly then Vex did have that little bit of edge, having them great players against Proxa. I would definitely say was my MVP of the week. Also Kenders, I think, is an honorable mention as well. He played really well. Hopefully we'll see more of that shortly later on after this match. But Kimbe is definitely starting to do his job as a Slayer and Roamer, which is exactly why 1UP brought him in. I believe it was around about Season 3 they brought Kimbe in as their main Slayer, and he definitely is starting to perform for them now, which I'm sure he is thrilled about that, and hopefully now the momentum is going to be behind him and he can start doing even more work and possibly be able to match Mop's record last week and possibly beat it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting when you mentioned that as well about, you know, Kimbe really starting to step up as they got together towards the end of Season 3, is that a lot of the teams in the console Rainbow 16, they don't really stay together for too long for the most part. It's usually a few months. So to really settle in and begin to synergize and understand each other does take time and effort, and it does feel like this 1UP team is starting to kind of batten down the hatches for the long haul, and that can only benefit them the longer that they stay together. Equally for Fable though, pretty much a brand new team, and you could say exactly the same about them, and realistically any other team that is playing in the Prem, give them enough time and they will most definitely improve.
Yeah, again, every team is always going to improve after every match. May not be a scrim, may it be a go-for round. Every little bit of teamwork is always just going to keep building momentum. I know that Kizza and Willow have been teammates for as long as I can remember playing Siege. I know whenever I started playing competitively way back in Season 2, Year 1, they were part of a team together. They're still part of a team together now, and I believe they're also best mates in real life as well. So it is great to see that kind of chemistry between them two, and I would say that they would be then the duo for 1UP.
That's just opening results, of course, in Siege. Don't carry over to real life. That's throwing pizza at each other on a Friday night, or in this case, on a Monday night. Yeah. However, they are 2-1 in the leads. There will be no pizza throwing to speak of just yet. No one gone down in this round, still 2-1. I said half the time has gone, however, and it doesn't really feel as though Fable have got themselves into a super solid position. Yes, they've got control of the upper floor, but we saw this from 1UP last time round. They left it to the last few seconds to go for the plant. If the plant had died at the end of that last round, they would have lost the round full stop. So let's hope Fable can make an attack happen a bit quicker than what 1UP did last time.
Fable have definitely managed to take control of this piano a lot quicker than 1UP did, but I think 1UP were still cautious of some of the roamers that may have been out, but Negma is going to get the first blood. That's going to be a C4 kill on the twirl. Thankfully, Habana did do her job, get open that hatch, and now Buck can start doing work with a C4 down on the board from 1UP. Now it is going to be free range for Buck to start destroying this floor and hopefully get some of these anchors moved out, as he already has cleared that train room, and now the main threat is going to be that B bomb site.
I was going to touch on the nades that he'd held onto for all of the rounds so far. Always looking for these angles to start raining them down in towards the trains, in towards Fireplace as well. Just trying to drop anyone who, like you say, is just sitting in those positions and refusing to move. It's a good way of unsettling the defense, but doesn't find anyone just yet.
We do see Mott picking up the kill on the reaction. It was very back and forth. I think that reaction just looked away at the wrong time, and we did then see Mott punish him for that. But all the defenders, most of them anyway, are going to be situated around that library area, that reading room area. And at this stage, they can defend the drop hatch from this, as again, that drop hatch doesn't lead into a bomb site specifically, but then does lead into a connector room, as Kimbe then does pick up the kill on the Nash, and another kill to his name, and then Willow is going to pick up the kill on the Nox, and Kiz is going to finish off the round, getting the kill on the Rami, and now 1UP are going to go free 1UP.
Someone slow Kimbe down. The guy's a monster this week so far, and to be fair, all of 1UP are playing really well together. You can see that that fan vote number isn't just blown up by their fans, it's because of the team play they're showing, and you've got to say pretty much all of it's on Kimbe's shoulders so far. But at the end of the round, they do seem to kind of round things out quite quickly, and at 3-1, even with that kind of half-thrown round early on, they are playing exceptionally well, and Fable, they're really struggling to find an answer.
You look at it, this should have been 4-0. This should be match point right now if they didn't manage to throw that round. I think that just the main problem that I'm seeing from Fable that they're not doing compared to 1UP is that they're not pushing together as a team. I see Reaction just go off by himself and just try and take everybody on, which isn't working at this stage.
Inspired by last week's 5 kill. Yeah.
I think that they need to have kind of like a duo and start pushing together. One person pushes in through one door and then the other guy sweeps up the kills if the other guy dies, which is a main way to clear rooms, especially for newer teams. That would be the best advice for me. Always work in twos, always work in pairs, never go by yourself, because then you start to get isolated, you start to panic, you start whiffing your shots, and then the defending team will punish you for that, which I think that definitely 1UP are punishing them with the way that they are pushing one by one. It's the easiest to defend as a defender, especially in them dying seconds where you know that Fable are then going to start rushing and start panicking, and then they're able to counter it from there.
You could definitely argue that there is no particular player in this game who shines heads and shoulders above the rest. If nothing else, you would look at Fable and say, well, Nash is probably the big guy in this game who everyone is looking to, you know, 1v5 enemy team and carry the round. But so far it feels that teamwork and experience together is definitely exceeding individual skill, because Nasher, yes, he's got himself a couple of kills in the game so far, but 1UP just based on that teamwork, like you said, that final push that always comes through together, that is the defining difference in this game.
Yeah, 100%. Teamwork, again, touched on it. It's always going to become a big factor. If you're playing with a team that you've never played with before, obviously there's going to be issues, but as 1UP, they've been about for quite some time. I've spoken to Kizza personally. I asked him, okay, what do you think about bringing Nigma in, bringing Kimbe in? How have they been? And he said they fit perfectly into Willow and Kizza's playstyle. That's what they wanted from them two players. So it is really good to see that teams really do value the amount of teamwork that it does take to win games. It's
not quite Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you believe in the heart of the cards and your friends and you win.
Believe in the heart of the gun.
Exactly, but a lot of it's just about it. That synergy can make a very, very small difference, which does pull you ahead of the enemy team, which is what we're seeing here. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on in this round. We have basically ignored the proceedings so far because not a lot has been happening. However, 1UP are sieging this upstairs once more. Kimbe's getting himself in with this Twitch drone, having a look around. Spots one outlying in the corridor will know there is someone lurking on these stairs, and they know now where at least 2 members are. They can push this through. They go into match point. Let's see if they can play it out sensibly, though, and not go crazy now thinking that they're going to be able to close this map out incredibly quickly, because that was the downfall of some teams last week, it felt like, in trying to rush the end of a game and then giving it away. We saw it a couple of times. NX versus Infamy kind of springs out as the big one for me in that case.
Looking at the push so far coming out from 1UP, they have managed to get rid of them, both of the mirror windows inside that freezer and that toilet area, so that's going to be really big for them being able to push in towards that piano area, as then Fable does not have control of that, as the mirror windows are going to be open. But at this stage, they are looking in pretty good shape, especially with that big kill on the Nasher. And Mop is just walking in through the bomb site. Nobody has managed to spot him. Nobody's heard him yet. Again, Echo might have been a really good operator for this choice. Mop pick up the kill on the Rami, and then Mop pick up another one. Kimbe gets the kill on the twirl from the hatch. Last man up is going to be the castle, but he is going to be in no position to stop this plant at the moment, as the plant is going to go and locate it inside that toilet area. Diffuser is going to go down, and hopefully this time they shouldn't choke this. 100% they shouldn't choke this.
Well, we saw crazier things last week. Of course, it was Reaction who did the big 1 versus 5, but it's Noxa who has got that to live up to this week. He's already finding himself under pressure. No, Willow's going to step around and drop the headshot, and 1UP take the clean ace on that one. 4-1 they go to.
I think that the main problem that Fable are having with this defense is the fact that they have, I don't think they have a lot of hazard control. I think possibly Legion might be a good pick for them next time, as Legion, of course, is then you're going to hear somebody walk in. As like that should never happen. Up should never be able just to walk in through bar and kill 2 of your guys.
No.
Possibly Echo. We know that Ranley played Echo. We know he plays Echo because we've seen him play it last week on Border. Why not pick up the Echo? That lets you see exactly what's happening inside the bomb site. Of course, then it is typically Cafe. It comes down to the last couple of seconds for that plant. So Echo would be a really good pick as well. For this particular bomb site, which I think would enable Fable to possibly do a lot better than what they're doing at this moment.
Highest score is spread across 3 members, 2 kills. There has been no big standout performer like arguably Kimbe was early on. Yes, Mop and Kizza have got themselves 4 kills, but otherwise it has been the Kimbe show this week. What I really liked about that last play, though, was it was like watching chess, because you have Mop push in. Once he got cleared out, the kill that had someone who was watching his angle got killed, he pushed in. Once he was pushing in, he got another kill himself. Fable then rotated to bring him down, but there was someone in the skylight covering his back. Even so, it was basically every time someone moves, there is someone watching where he has just been, because they know there'll be a rotation there. And it's just that small bit of communication, the rotations that really help. That's what feels like Fable are lacking. And as you say, that lack of communication and team play is arguably what's costing them this map. And let's not forget, this was their pick. They should be the most comfortable here, but so far they're looking like a fish out of water.
Looking at Cafe in general, it's not the most strat-heavy map, which then does lead me to worry about how the next map is going to go Consulate. As looking at Fable, I don't think they're the most strat heavy. They're more with their gun skill, as we've always talked about. And Cafe is definitely a map with gun skill where you need to play aggressive, need to push in, as we already have seen Mop do before, who again is known for them big sledge and buck plays, of course, with them aggressive operators. But I think Consulate is going to now be a really big worry for Fable, the way that they are playing so far. And again, that's going to be 1UP's pick, so I would imagine that the strats are going to be solidified. They know exactly what they're going to be doing. It's going to be practice over in scrims, what have you. So it's definitely going to be a big worry for Fable.
Let's not forget that last week, it was the curse of week 1, where whenever a team picked a map, they lost it, and they always beat the other team on their map. And I don't want to jinx it too early, but we might see that happen again today. And to be honest with you,
I don't think it.
Fable versus 1UP was one of my 2 most interesting games of the day. The other one being Xenos versus NX was our kind of clash of the titans in game 2. This one was interesting for me because the 2 teams are relatively close. They've got good gun skill players. There is that slight advantage for 1UP in terms of the team play that they've got. But I thought it'd be a pretty close game. But as it stands so far, Fable are pretty much getting run over. I think it's just team skill. I don't think that the gun skill's too bad. I just think it's the teamwork that is really starting to shine for 1UP.
look at this is the exact same thing that 1UP did the first round for their defense. That they stood on top of this bar.
Oh,
great
cheeky
kill by Nasher, but then it's going to... Oh! Double kill from Nasher! Even with that shield getting broken, Nasher is now going to come big, like we were talking about. We wanted somebody to step up. Nasher must have heard us, and he has managed to get a double kill and does put his team in the lead.
Heard the cries of a schoolboy in distress, but however, it's Nasher in distress because Kizza's going to bring him down with that smoke. So off that wave of motivation, no doubt from him getting that early double kill, and now him going down, things are probably going to go back to the way they were, where Fable is still a little bit demotivated. However, 4 versus 3, they've got the capability to win this. They've just got to coordinate and speak to each other, and too late because it's a 3 versus 3. Make that a 3 versus 1, as once again, 1UP will clean house.
Yeah, I think this is where Fable now they just grouped up too much. I think that they should spread themselves out a lot more, and they should have been able to watch that flank. They had the man advantage, make it a 4v3, but then put somebody on the flank, and then just let him watch over as Kizza is going to get the shotgun kill on the Rami, and that is going to be the first map done.
Well, that to me was pretty good because 2 of his kills were pretty much always shotguns.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, really, really good play by 1UP. I'm really pleased to see them kind of pulling together because last week it felt like they definitely got outdone by the superior gun skill of Vex, but here against a team who arguably you would say are on equal footing with them in terms of skill, they've shown that that team play can really pay off dividends.
I think that Kizza was a big factor again. It's going to be Cafe, a big smoke map, as we have talked about, of course. And looking at the way he did manage to play that map in general, he played a very aggressive smoke, in my opinion. Sitting inside that freezer is typically you'll see your smokes being played in the back of A, for example, as well. But playing inside that freezer gives them that little bit of capability to go for them quick rushes with the shotgun. It is going to be very close quarters, of course. And then just the fact that them smoke grenades just stops that door, which is going to be that main door that a lot of people want to push in from. It did help a lot with 1UP them being able to say, okay, we've lost 2 guys, now what do we do? Let's slow it down and think about what we're doing next.
Absolutely. Well, we have a few replays to show you from that game. Of course, we always love having a quick talk through these. But straight away, as soon as we come into this, I'm looking at the kill feed and just seeing Kimbe twice. That pretty much is a summary of the game for me because he really shone in my eyes.
Yeah, I think he
this
went...
This is the one shaky play for them that actually
that was a wee bit, could have went either way there.
Yeah.
But then also just looking, I think that everybody put a shift in from 1UP. Maybe not Nigma, I didn't see too much from him. He had a couple of big kills with the C4, stuff like that there. But for the most part, it was Kizza and Kimbe doing most of the work. Mop had a good flank in that last round, but definitely Kimbe was the standout player. Again, like we were talking about, Mop pushing in, then 1UP just, okay, somebody's going to be on his flank, I'll just stay in the skylight and shoot him whenever he comes out of that freezer, which is one of the easiest things that again, a lot of you guys at home can do is just cover each other's backs. Great double.
Cheeky one tap on a couple of pixels, and that was a great spray as well. But it kind of felt like every single time the big push came through from 1UP, they would drop in 2 or 3 players in quick succession.
Yeah.
There was never a time where it was like 1 kill, 10 seconds pass, 1 kill, 10 seconds, another one. That never happened. It always seemed to be, and you saw in most of those plays there, when they got a kill, it was very quickly succeeded by 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, I think that, again, trade-outs was a very big thing for 1UP to take away from this. We talked about last week how different teams managed to trade out and stuff like that there, but they definitely did show it that how important trade-outs are. That does give you that really big man advantage, and also looking at the way that they, in that final round, they were 4 members to 3 down. Then that deficit was completely turned on its head as Mop managed to go for that flank. And another thing that I was talking to you about earlier, Fable is a team which are very headstrong, one-way pushes, and their flanks are going to be exposed.
Yes. And
they definitely were.
Absolutely. And 1UP capitalised on that, and quite rightly so, they deserve to. However, that's enough for that map. Let's have a quick talk about Consulate, because that's the next one that we're jumping into. What are your thoughts? Because Consulate, as you said, we don't really see picked too much lately. It used to be a stupidly popular map, but lately it's definitely kind of fallen out of favour. Yep,
it would be more on the PC side of things for popularity. I don't think Xbox players don't really like Consulate that much, as of course it was out since release, so strats have been put in place. But the main thing about Consulate that does throw a lot of guys off, of course, is that all bomb sites are playable. As again, you look at different maps where, exactly for Cafe, you only ever see the 2 maps being picked, never see the bakery being picked, but all 3 maps, in my opinion, are able to be defendable.
Well, let's see which one they choose to jump for. Looks like Console Office and Meeting Room will be the first one coming out. And of course, I can tell you that because it's at the bottom of my screen. But let's see what they choose to pick in terms of the operators. You've been speaking about Sledge quite a bit and expecting to maybe see Nasher get to pick that one up. Haven't really seen it too often.
No. I think that we might see a bit more coming out from this map, as the verticality is very big inside Consulate, has a lot of wooden floors, has a lot of destructible floors as well, as sometimes all the reinforcements can't secure a lot of the entry areas that you're expecting to defend with them reinforcements. But I think that Buck would be a better operator pick for 1UP instead of the Sledge, in my opinion, because it's a top floor, so you can't go from the top and then start bucking down. But however, you can go in towards his piano room as well, which actually, quite funnily enough, I didn't realise this, Consulate and Cafe are both maps that play off the fact that you need control of that piano. May it be from the defender's point of view, may it be from the attacker's point of view, because controlling that piano as a Buck player, can you just start ripping up both of these bomb sites and also that connector room as well, which is going to be so big for getting rid of anchors inside A, and particularly anchors inside that connector where we typically do then see mirror windows being played, which just shuts down the whole entirety of B. So I would say that Buck would be a better pick for Sledge in this scenario.
Getting themselves some rotation holes set up as well. Of course, reinforcing so they are perfectly safe if they choose to go for that one. Gimbay already lurking on that north side. Now, where do you think they go for the attack from here? Seeing how you've seen this setup go, where do you think they come from?
It seems to be already that they want control of this office area, so I don't think they're opting for that B push, especially the fact that we don't see any Blackbeard from 1UP, which Blackbeard is a menace in this map, as so many windows can be used and abused by him, of course. And looking at the way that Fable then has set up to try and defend this, is that they're looking to control that admin office as well as that B push, as they do have then that mirror window being placed inside one of the staff room cupboards, and also Twirl is also going to be supporting his teammate as well. But just one Habana pellet, one Thatcher grenade, one Habana pellet is going to get rid of that entirely, but then they also do have to worry about reaction and coming up for the flank, which I do think that 1UP has somebody stationed inside that Visa, so then they will be able to stop that push.
Yeah, it's got to admit, the east side does seem like a very popular starting place, because we see a lot of Pro League teams do the same sort of thing. They push into east, take control of office, and then sweep across the top side. They'd rather not try and fight on those windows towards the two bomb sites. However, as always, it seems 1UP will be the ones opening up the kill scores, bringing down the Bandit.
Yeah, it seems to be that this window is going to be that main way that 1UP are looking to use and abuse some of this power that they can use with the windows. Blackbeard, again, is always going to be a big factor for trying to play that. They haven't chosen it this time. They have chosen somebody who needs, so then they can just start firing them in and then clear out the mirror window that way. But Fable are looking in quite a bad spot, as 1UP do have the advantage in this. They've lost control of this admin, but Nasher is going to get a jump out kill on the Negmas, but then we did see Noxa get the kill on the Willow, so it has flipped in Fable's side, but it is going to be equaled up as Kizza then gets the kill on that window that Mop was on as well. As now it is then going to be a 2v2. Smoke almost does pick the kill on the Kiz, but at this stage, A-Bomb is looking to be completely clear for Mop to push in.
Hey, the one's completely off downstairs at the minute, so they've only got that one defender. They can try and go for the push here as well. We need to go over that smoke. In fact, Mop taking some damage from that smoke grenade, sitting in a pretty precarious position. The one tap from Rami will be enough to bring down Kizza. Could this be Fable's good start to the map? And the curse is real, it feels almost as well, because 1UP aren't having the dominating performance that they probably assumed they would have on their choice of map.
That's going to be a double kill for Rami to finish it off, and like we were talking about with that smoke, is he's going to be so key for shutting down a lot of pushes on Consulate as well as Cafe, as we did see. But this stage, it did come down to the wire. I would say that it did equal off into a 2v2 eventually, and I think that in that scenario, they had no real way of getting inside that bomb site. Thermite was dead. They didn't have their aggressive Ash to push in as well. They did manage to get rid of that mirror inside the admin, which was the first phase, but from there, I think that Fable then did bring out that aggression like we were talking about, as then they managed to go for the repeats, different stuff like that there. I think Rami was also quite unfortunate to get the kill on the Kiz as he was swinging in through that break room, which would have made it a lot easier. But for the most part, Fable did manage to win that round, and maybe 1UP just fell short of that final execution.
I love what Fable are going for here in terms of attacking options as well. We've already spoke about the strength of both the Book and the Blackbeard. Taking the Sledge as well just gives even more destructibility alongside the Ash. And of course, for those hard reinforcements with the Thermite, everything they've got here just screams playing to the map strengths, to me at the very least. However, 1UP with the Valkyrie will at least have some additional intel, and we spoke last week about the value of intel and how much it can give to the defending side when you know exactly where the attackers are. And equally for the attackers, when you know where the devices are, where the anchors are sat, you can make so many more moves safe in the knowledge that you aren't going to get caught out on an angle that you don't necessarily expect.
So now on to the round. Fable do have the Buck in their operator lineup as well as the sledge show, both destructible operators for the verticality off them wooden floors, is going to be chosen. So I would imagine that they're going to try and take from upstairs and then start destroying this piano room, which then clears out that B, and then also equally then you can buck open in that connector room as well and start getting rid of anybody inside that bathroom with a good couple of nades being tossed out. So now looking at the push, they want to gain control of this visa office, I believe, and then push in from there, which is an interesting play. I would much rather take control of upstairs and then try and push in from that way, but there is going to be a bit of opposition for Fable.
It just feels like a slow creep most of the time, that you start on the east side, you take both floors, and then you can just quite safely go across the building and then go for what your ultimate objective is, which of course is those 2 bomb points. But you know it's very, very unlikely that you're going to have that east side reinforced. If they do choose to reinforce it, then you might well find yourself getting caught out, but that's exactly what the drones are for. What the supports are set at the back, having a good look around for you to be able to push in with. And you spoke about this, the value of this piano room. They're going to know someone sat at the back of it here. Or will they? They clearly missed him at the back. Go for the spray. And Mott was the one sat downstairs. Reaction will get dropped. And I'm very, very surprised that the droners did not spot him out. Yeah,
a bit of sloppy droning possibly coming out from Fable, but then they did get the refrag, make that a double refrag as Rami does pick the kill on the Willow just after Nasher did get the kill onto that roamer. And now Nasher is going to have a bit of fun as he can start destroying this floor and getting some of these anchors out of their positions.
Trying to do what they can, and you can just see as more and more of this floor gets ripped up, exactly what it means to the defenders. It means scatter, run away. We do not want to be sat under one of those holes for too long. Kimbe's actually sat way upstairs. Yeah, he's lurking quite a lot here, and I'm concerned that once they start ignoring the roamer, he is no longer useful and is in completely the wrong situation. If nothing else, he's completely isolated, and as soon as they hear you, they will just collapse on you and bring you down.
Well, actually, I think that Kimbe is in quite a good position because he has them 3 sets of staircases that he can start rotating down. He can really just pick which one he does want to go for. It seemed to be that he used the drop hatch, and now is going to get the kill on the twirl, so that is going to be a big kill as Noxen does finish up Kiz, so it is going to be all down to Kimbe in this 2v1 scenario.
He's going to spot the they know he's there, and that's going to be a 1 versus 1, and all the onus is suddenly thrown onto Fable's side because he can see the diffuser. He's going to walk right foot that almost gets sprayed down, walking away with a flashing health bar. Does not have much left to him here, and he's not going to want to run back through that angle once more, but he's got the diffuser. He does hear the plant, but he's going to get drowned. He's going to have to cancel it. He's almost paranoid now, Nasher, but he's getting sprayed from above, and this is horrible because it comes back to bite you. You get all these holes in the floor, and then suddenly the defenders are the ones using it to prevent you from going for the plant.
I'm pretty sure if Nasher went behind that bomb and stuck with the plant, he would have got that down because...
Yeah, because there was no angle down.
Yeah, and the drop hatch wasn't open inside that lobby area. So then Kimbe didn't have enough time to stop that plant, then he'd have to rotate all the way down the stairs or through the drop hatch, which then is very easily defendable for Nasher in that scenario, as then he's going to have that bomb head glitch, of course, and then you'll be able to finish up from that way. Maybe a bit of a misplay coming out from Nasher.
What concerns me is that he was the one who opened up the floor and got those angles for when they were trying to first aggress downstairs. He should know, as someone who plays Buck and is the one putting the holes in the floor, what angles are visible and which ones are not.
Yeah.
And from that, you should know where to plant. And as you said, he had the right angle. He just got paranoid and suddenly ran out and tried to go for a spray, thinking that maybe Kimbe was going for the quick rotate. It was a total lie. Kimbe was just quite happy to hang upstairs and wait to see what Nasher did next. And it just so happened that when he tried to go down to try and get another angle, well, Kimbe was right above him and won them the round. So 1-1. Consular, let's not forget, once more, is 1UP's map.
Once again, the Kimbe show. We have seen he did make an amazing clutch, but more sloppiness from Fable, not watching their flanks. We've seen it previously in that last round in Cafe where Mott was able to go for the flank. And I definitely think that they need to push the rumors. They have the gun skill, they have the aggressive play style. That should be able to just crumble most rumors with the kind of players they have at their capability. I've seen Nasher clear out entire rooms of rumors, so why can't he do it here?
What I find really interesting about 1UP here is that they play a very standard comp as well. We spoke about all the different picks we saw coming through last time, like the Blackbeard. This time they're just going for something super, super standard. You've got the sledge coming through, which, as you said, is always going to be very popular here. Lots of windows to smash, lots of walls to break through, lots of angles to create. But otherwise, it's very standard. You're going for the Hibana as well, which we didn't see in the last attacking round. You've got the Twitch, you've got the Thatcher. None of those 3 picks we saw get picked up last time, so the teams definitely got their preferences on this map and know what they want to play.
One thing that really catches me by surprise is the fact that 1UP have chosen a Twitch over an Ashe, which tells me one thing: they're scared of mirror windows, which most teams are scared of mirror windows, of course, because she just brings so much versatility, there we go, to so many bomb sites. Ever since release, she has been one of the most important operators. 4 different bomb sites, made bomb sites that weren't defendable of course. And it does really show that 1UP have thought about the different strats that happen in Consulate with mirror windows, especially on the bottom floor. But quite, again, more interesting, no mirror window for Fable.
If you were a superhero, I think that'd be your line. Makes the undefendable defendable.
Yeah.
It's Demo Man. It will be an interesting operator indeed. Let's see, it blow stuff up. Let's see how the attacking round goes for 1UP this time round though. They've had a bit of a struggle on this map compared to the last one against Fable, and that looks to be at least alleviating a little as Mop will pick up Matt Nasher. That's one of their big gunners down. And already Kimbe showing us exactly why we're going to see this Twitch drone getting put down to 5 charges instead of the 15.
He's just being annoying. At the moment, it seems to be that upstairs is going to be taken. I don't think we do see any rumours on the top floor. I think they are all hunkered down on that bottom floor. So now Fable are going to try and defend this drop patch's reactions, playing very aggressive, but now with that sledge opening up that piano, like we talked about, piano control is going to give so much versatility for these attackers to start getting rid of these anchor positions, of course. Oh, and Mop just missed. I believe it was reaction drop down off them pipes. But still, the tearing off the floor is still going to be taking place.
Every single time he's looking through the floor, he's literally missing by a few pixels where the enemy's sat. Not that it matters, because Kimbe is doing Kimbe things and cleaning up most of the enemy team. It's 2v4 now. And 1UP go for the plant.
Yeah, I would imagine that we are going to see a 1UP victory. The diffuser is going to be planted right in the open of garage, of course. So now all it takes is the Thermite or the Thatcher just to sit back behind that car, behind the wall, wait for the diffuse happening, and it's an easy peek onto that diffuser. So I think that it is going to go in 1UP's favour.
This could be a cozy double kill if they wanted to go for it. He's trying to bait the revive there in case someone was waiting, but nope, no one is going to be watching them right now. As I say, there's some bullets do go heading their way. Bit more damage going down. Both members are solo, and Kizza is there to pick up Rami. There's only the one man left standing. I don't know if he'll be able to do much about this one, though. As you say, that diffuser is down. There's only a few seconds left to go. I don't think he's having enough time at this rate. No, he will not.
No.
Well, this has been pretty much domination for 1UP. It's returning to what we saw on the last map. Things are looking a lot more comfortable in round 3. Round 1 and 2, a little bit shaky. I think trying to adjust to the new map was definitely starting to hurt them a bit, trying to get that team synergy back on point. But now it's back in place, things are balancing out, and we are even starting to see Mop and Kizza get themselves on the scoreboard too.
Yeah, looking at 1UP, you can definitely sense that they have worked the map. They've been able to know the strats. They've been able to know what operators to pick to counter the different defendable bomb sites, especially looking at Kimbe. Instead of picking Ash, which is his main operator, everybody loves Ash, who is a great slayer, and picking the Twitch definitely does show that they were expecting mirror windows. Typically, you'd see mirror windows played inside that little office area beside that B, which then locks down the entirety of garage, of course, and then different mirror windows also scattered about, possibly in the triple wall. I've seen it done sometimes. Doesn't work the best, but definitely fearing the mirror windows.
All must fear the dark windows, through which you cannot see because there may be a gun waiting for you on the other side. Quite often there is. Let's see how this defense on the upstairs goes this time round. 1UP at 2-1 if they win this one, going themselves to the 3-1. There's only one more until they get to that match point as well. And we saw last time round a couple of rounds that they almost threw away. One they did throw away, you could argue. I don't want to say that doing the same here would cost them, but Fable definitely look more in tune on this map. They know more about what's going on, got a bit more about them in general. Have yet to really transfer it into a tangible advantage though, because still at 2-1, 1UP are starting to look more like their old selves. I'm concerned for Fable, and realistically after their games last week, yes, they came 1-on-1 against Horizon. I still think they've got an opportunity where they can show everyone what they're made of. Maybe they need a couple more weeks to really gel before we'll start to see the real Fable.
The Kimbe show is back in action as he does open up the kills, as that is going to be reaction off the board. Big kill for Kimbe, as Fable's main slayer, who put in that great ace last week, is going to be neutralised. And at this stage, they're still fearing him, as Kimbe is still wreaking havoc on some of them attackers, but then does decide to rotate downstairs. But using them different staircases that he has at his advantage, is now going to start rotating upstairs as well.
Let's not forget as well, last week there were two big kind of slayers, you could say. It was Kinders on 21 kills and Proxy on 21 kills. It feels almost like Kimbe is trying to top that this week. He's seeing the stats, he goes, boys, I want to be known as a top killer in week 2. I want my MVP award for that, and that's what he's trying to fire for. But to be honest with you, a lot of this match has felt like it's very firmly on his shoulders. Yes, the whole 1UP team has played well as a unit, but a lot of it's been down to this guy on your screens right now. Kimbe has been the shining light for 1UP. And to be honest with you, if they win this out 2-0, I think you could attribute a lot of that success pretty much purely to him.
Yeah, I think that looking at last week's stats, he had more kills, but that was due to the fact that they were up against some tough competition in Vexed, and that had more rounds in it. So he had more rounds, more chances to get kills. At this stage, he has so many kills in such little rounds. This is, I believe this is the 10th round being played inside this series. And he definitely has that's going to be another kill for him, but then Twirl is going to get the trade out. But Kimbe, I think, is definitely looking really strong, especially with the amount of rounds that have only been played.
Well, Nasher did not expect that run through from Kimbe there. He thought he'd retreat himself the same way that Nasher did before he went for his run, and his ran around the corner and was like, oh, there's a Kimbe in my face. And they did both get traded out in the end. But again, it's always this focus on Nasher. It feels like he's been very quiet this game, probably because he's been consistently shut down in the early round.
Yeah, it does seem to be that Nasher isn't having the best time on Consulate, but Fable are now in a 2v2 situation as Twirl gets that kill onto that flanking mop as he has done in previous rounds. But now it is going to be Kiz who will start stopping any attackers want to push up these yellow stairs, and this is why you bring the smoke to stop this happening, to stop the attackers wanting to push in through the one-way, I would say the one-way entrances, rather than, you know, pushing windows, stuff like that. They're pushing different alternatives, but they both know they're going to be at yellow stairs, so it's going to be a very, very easily defendable thing for Kiz and Nigma to do in this situation.
And just keep on throwing down those grenades. That was the last one, but it only gives about 12 seconds for the attackers to go for the push. Twirl has rotated, but they've got to make sure they clean up here as well. I don't think either of them have the diffuser right now. They've got to go for the kill, but it's nothing's going to happen. Twirl is going to run over a mine. And both, actually, gets both traps in there. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. However, no one is there to bring him down. They go for this push. They've got to clean things up. They get one, but gets the injured. Kizza with the shotgun once again for about the 4th time today. Will get the closing double kill, and 1UP are in such good shape today.
Yeah, Kizza has been there for 1UP to clutch up the rounds, even though Kimbe does a lot of the work in the early rounds. He is definitely coming in through that late game, which I think is really impressive, which that's exactly what you're expecting from your smoke player.
Absolutely what you want to see from your smoke player, because again, it's the synergy. It's the time running down the clock with the smoke, forcing them to make a mistake. And we keep speaking about these teams who, with 30 seconds left on the clock, start making these silly mistakes, which then start costing them rounds. And before you know it, the whole map and eventually the series. And that just feels like what 1UP have got about them this time around. I think for Fable, maybe over the next week or so, you start thinking, right, let's go back and watch what happened during these games. Let's understand what they're doing that makes them better than us. Because for the most part, naturally, you could argue matches Kimbe in terms of gun skill. Everyone else is pretty even in terms of kills, but it's where that synergistic play comes together, and that's what Fable need to bring out. And like I say, it may take 2 or 3 weeks for them to get that together, but it can make the difference in those final couple of weeks if you do have that team synergy.
The main problem for Fable is that they're not droning good enough. I think that it's being very sloppy. They're letting the rumors do what rumors do best, just being a complete nuisance, and especially for a map such as...
completely ignoring Kimbe in some cases.
But looking at a map like Consulate, where it has 3 sets of staircases, it's going to be a wonderland for defenders to start rotating, and you never really know what staircases are going to rotate up next.
Absolutely. As we saw from Twirl trying to do the rotation, 1UP had that plan with 2 mines being down, not just 1.
Yeah.
They had both Legion and the Ella mines down just to make sure that he could not walk up there so freely, and they knew exactly where he was when they heard those mines go off, and rightly so. Kizza was there waiting with a shotgun to the face. However, 1UP have not yet won this map yet. They've still got at least 2 more rounds to go. That is if Fable cannot hold out on this defensive round.
Just also bringing up the fact that you talked about Twirl being able to go for the rotate from yellow to spiral so easily. It just shows Consulate as a map. There is a lot of entryways. There is a lot of different ways that you want to try and push in towards the bomb site, even though in itself the bomb sites have only 2 doors each to push in from, which does make Consulate a very interesting map in that perspective. A lot of ways into the top floor, but not so many ways into the actual bomb sites.
Always scrapping around these hatches as well, just hoping to catch someone out here, Kimbe. They know where he is. This is probably the problem, is that they have at least an onus about which side he's coming from. So they know most of the team will probably be downstairs and pushing in here together with the assistance of that drone. And as we said earlier on, East seems to be a very, very popular side to start things off on this map.
Yeah, it seems to be that they want to try and take control of this admin and break room area once again, like we'd seen them do last time. They seem to have cleared it out a lot more efficiently than they did previously, as we see once again Mop pushing in, beating that first-time Slayer. Kimbe on that Visa flank, covering for any roamers, but Willow does get the first blood on the Twirl. It's going to be the Bandit off the board, so another free speed down for Fable.
always seems to be the way that 1UP are the ones opening up the scorings. And we saw last week, 2Mas was the one getting 9 opening kills. Yeah. Curious to see how things play out for 1UP, because they do seem to be the ones getting most of the opening kills. Of course, whether or not it's distributed across the team is a very different story, but they have definitely got quite a few. Kimbe with this drone, every single time is just causing an absolute headache for the members of Fable.
Yeah, we do see a bit of confrontation between both of the main slayers for Fable, Reaction versus Kimbe. Reaction does decide to back up. He doesn't want to try and challenge Kimbe, especially the way that he is playing, but 1UP do have control of the site as Negba picks up the kill on the Reaction. Mop gets a kill on the Noxa, and then the refrag, almost the refrag coming out from Nasher, only managed to down the sledge, but 1UP do have complete control of the A-bomb site.
Complete control of the game as well, it feels like. Let's not forget, they pretty much won with this scoreline last time round. As the Rats go to 4-1, almost Nasher isn't willing to give them that. And yet another ace though, but Kizza will drop him down. This time not with a shotgun, but more so with a rifle. And 1UP will be taking us into match point, looking super decisive.
So I think that possibly Fable maybe eased up a little bit too much from their previous round. We seen 1UP take that admin area a lot more quicker than they did previously. So maybe that might have been due to the fact that Fable are now starting to panic. They might have feel that 1UP is just a better team than them, then the fear factor starts hitting them, and then they don't want to try and challenge some of these guys. But at the moment, Fable still do have the gun skill. They can play aggressive. This is where I think the time where they need to change up their strategy, just go completely off the wall with what they do in the norm and try something different.
I think from what we've seen so far, Kimbe, compared to last week as well, has been probably the highest number of kills on average per round.
Yeah.
Because this has been a very, very quick series. We're 10 rounds in, going into the 11th now. It's just been super decisive so far. In fact, no, I lied. This is the 13th round we're going into, sorry. But he's just looked really, really good. I think he's at about 19 kills at the minute across the 2 maps. He had a very, very good first round performance. Hasn't been as standout this time round because members of the team have started to show up, and he hasn't been as successful as he might have hoped for. However, his roam earlier on did definitely pay off dividends for the team, and that's what counts in the end is, of course, winning out the rounds. But I think it's just really impressive what he's been doing compared to last week where the team looked a little bit flat against Vexed. This is a much sharper 1UP that have turned up this week, and I hope to see this continue in future weeks as well.
I think that the help from the Major League game in Wednesday definitely did boost that little bit of confidence, as last week 1UP had lost 2 games on the trot, one to Gamer Juice and then one to Vexed. It probably wasn't a very good time in the 1UP party, I would imagine, after that Vexed game, losing both of the rounds.
It was an excellent time in the Vexed one, I can tell you that
much. I think we all know that. But definitely seems to be a completely new 1UP team that we didn't see last week. And now they're starting to show why they were the favourites going into the first week of the Prem to actually go on and win the whole thing.
I like it as well, because for a team to be kind of like paraded around, you know, part of a great org, we're a good team, you know, we're going to be one of the top teams, maybe go to LAN if we're lucky, well, not lucky if we really put the effort in. To then get rolled over by Vex so decisively was kind of a, well, you're a bit of a joke, aren't you? However, this isn't a joke because 1UP are actually starting to lose this round out quite consistently. 5 versus 2, and Fable have come back alive. Only 2 members left on the other side. One of those is going to be Kimbe on that Ella, as always. Whether or not they can prevent this plank coming through, though, is a very different story.
Yeah, I was talking about that. I'd love to see just something different from Fable go off the norm. That's exactly what they did. How quick did they open up that garage? That was so quick in the round. I think it was by about 2 minutes 20. And then we just seen Reaction walk in and kill everybody. So now all hopes do fall for 1UP's victory on Kimbe. We've seen him do it once, but he cannot do it this time, as now Reaction he came alive and is starting to become that player we seen last week, just pushing in aggressive and picking up a lot of kills.
It feels like the movie 300, where there's just a sole Spartan sort of stood at the end and they're being surrounded and everyone is cornering him and he's like, no, I will not go down. But Kimbe, sadly, like the Spartans, you are not a god and you will not be able to survive that spray down. It was a bit unfortunate because Willow was actually in his line of sight. He saw someone but thought, I'll let Willow deal with that because if I shoot now, I will kill Willow as well. Unfortunately, Willow still went down. Kimbe took a bunch of damage, and that put them at the real big disadvantage because they had a very good spot upstairs. With that floor before them, we've already seen what happens down there. We saw a couple of rounds ago, the plant's trying to go down, and it's like, oh, there's a guy there trying to plant. Boop, another one down there. Boop. Very, very easy for them. And this time round, just a bit more smarts about Fable, I think, to rotate upstairs. Of course, having the numbers advantages allows you to do that, and you don't have the panic in terms of the time limit. But 1UP will drop another round. Fable maybe showing signs of life a little bit too late into this series, but at least we are seeing life nonetheless.
Looking at that last round, Fable did not opt to go for that piano control. They just decided, okay, let's blow open the wall and push in, see what happens. At that stage, 1UP had piano control. They should have then done what attackers do to them and started opening up that floor and then start trying to play the angles. I know that Willow, we seen a glimpse of him open up the floor and then trying to shoot the attackers that they pushed in through that bus. But I think he might have done it a bit too late, as Reaction was able to just stroll on in. He should have been shut down straight away, which then probably then would have stopped Fable pushing. They seen, okay, Reaction's walked in, he's just straight away, he's dead. Let's just ease up a little bit and then try and take this piano control, which then would have slowed down the round a lot more for Fable, and it could have been a different outcome.
This would be a Radix level turnaround if Fable could turn around and win this map away from 1UP, because it would kind of ruin all the hard work that 1UP have put in so far. However, we can't take it away from Fable, because they have had some pretty good signs of life, especially last week as well. Nasher we spoke about quite a lot. He was one of the highest killers last week alongside Rami, who also had a really good one. And again, you cannot forget about Reaction and his incredible ace. From what we've seen so far today, I think that was more of a one-off than something that we'll see quite consistently though. Yeah,
I think that it might have been just a little silly error. I think that most of these rounds that we've seen Fable lose is just a one silly mistake, not hunting a roamer, not covering your flank, which has been the real downfall for Fable in these circumstances. So it will be interesting to see if they manage to rectify them mistakes and then go on and possibly go for the comeback.
Cover me! Reloading!
I'll just be careful here, playing the sledge. Can get this door open, but he's going to have someone set just to the left, and he knows now. He knows there is someone there. If he can go for it, maybe get his drone taken down, just trying to waste his time a bit. But going to have to smash this open, and of course is going to force him to back away. But it's the time wasted once more. That was a good 20 seconds here that he had to hover around outside this door, whereas he could have charged through if they weren't holding that forward room.
So we do see Nasher get the first blood. That's going to be on the Willow. Thatcher out of the picture. Not the most impact operator. It's not going to be a really big worry losing, for example, Habana or a Thermite. But then we do see once again the refrag coming out from 1UP, as that's going to be Nasher taken out by Kimbe. And now 1UP are starting their approach coming in from that admin side, as we have seen them do so many times. And we have seen a bit of a strat change coming out from Fable, as we did see them play the mirror window in there last time. This time, no mirror window on the board, inside the castle.
Got some drones going down as well. Kizza just giving his team eyes onto the objective. Can they get into the room though? Because right now, they're just trying to get this 3-4 angle set up almost, it feels. There is someone downstairs that they've got to be wary of. Almost had the chance there. Enigma just a little bit slow on the reaction. Not on the player reaction, in terms of reactions themselves. Then getting to this point though, they've got the angles down, they've got some drones going in. The defenders though are holding quite staunchly. They've got at least 2 or 3 of them lying down, hanging eyes and angles onto this objective. Mop's going to open everything up, and then we'll start seeing what they can do to push in.
So we do see the similar push that we've seen 1UP do previously, but we do have, I believe, a roamer in Ayla is going to be downstairs, so I would imagine she's going to start rotating up soon, as 1UP have semi-took control of the ASA semi, because it was very easily defendable by Reaction, getting a double kill, finish off the round, and that is going to be Fable taking another round back from 1UP.
We'll still go in then. Again, we spoke about it earlier on. If Fable take this one back, it would be a bit of an upset given how well 1UP have played, but they are starting to come to life from Reaction once again, leading the leaderboard at 7. Nasher coming up in 6 with Noxa at 5. So the boys are starting to wake up. I'll just, again, worry if it's a little bit too late.
Yeah.
From how the last 2 rounds have gone, though, you'd probably say it's come at pretty much the perfect time.
But now 1UP do have control of that console office and meeting room. So upstairs, once again, we've seen Kizza, I believe, pull off a final second double kill with a shotgun. I would imagine we're going to see a similar stuff, Kimbe and Mop for the rooms, and then Kizza and Enigma cleaning up in the last couple of rounds. I think Willow's been very quiet on 1UP today, which surprised me quite a lot. I know Willow's always been one of the most stable players, the most consistent players in the entire Premiership lineups. I think that maybe he's just a bit out of his depth playing Legion especially, where typically I've always known Willow as a bandit main, but now putting him on that 2-speed, I think that 1UP are starting to change him up, almost the same way we seen Nasher last week play Twitch, which I thought was quite unnormal, as I always knew him as an aggressive sledge player. So maybe Willow's having a little bit of that same problem as well.
Maybe, but also it's kind of a case, and I say this a lot in other games as well, is that sometimes you do just have to sit back and let yourself get carried. It's going to happen, and Kimbe is shining here, so why take the bandit and risk, you know, having that 1 armor, just hoping to try and get yourself back into it. Sit back, lay down these traps, enable Kimbe to be the one to get the kills, and you just sit back and support him as best you can. That's a sign of a good player who is willing to say, you know what, this week it's not about me, it's about the team, it's about this player who's playing incredibly well. Let's do all we can to enable him. And that's working great with both the Ella and the Legion together, because all those traps getting laid down, Fable have to take things extra slow. It's the same as when you're playing Kimbe's having a great time down there, just having a little bit of a bob during the downtime. Soon enough, it will be siege time, though, and it'll be time to start getting some more kills, my friend. Let's see if you can get to the top of the leaderboard this week.
I also think, touching on Willow as well, I want to bring up is that him playing that Bandit doesn't really give a whole lot to his team for a map such as Consulate. There's the only real way you would ever pick Bandit for Consulate is if you want the Bandit trick, the Garage, which again is easily taken out by the enemy team controlling that piano, or just simply pushing in from that yellow stairs, of course. Yeah. So I think that Legion's definitely going to be a better pick, especially like we were talking about. With the amount of ways into that top floor, Legion's then able to slow that then pushes down a lot, and especially for a team such as Fable.
You could go for something like the Castle as well, but obviously opting for the Legion is more to their strategy, I think. And we spoke about this double trap kind of comp they've got coming on with both Ela and Legion coming together. Yeah, and it's working wonders, because let's not forget, Legion's traps are invisible. It's incredibly hard to spot them out. You have to catch that tiny little glimmer on your screen to be able to even see where they are, let alone remove them. And it's just like with Ela, as soon as you hear someone get themselves caught, as you're going to see now, they have to back away pretty much immediately, and it gives you a chance to run around and deal with them very quickly.
The thing about Legion traps is I think sometimes they're very predictable where Legion will throw them, because everybody has that same sense of, okay, this is going to be a main high traffic door, I'm going to put one here. And whenever you play Legion, no reaction!
Not in match point, my friend.
No.
Happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I think
really? I thought he meant to do that.
So that's going to be a really big deficit for Fable now, as it's going to be 1UP having that control, and also that is going to be then reaction getting taken out. That's going to be a big player off the board for Fable, but then Nasher coming up them yellow stairs, gets one kill on the Kimbe, so that is going to be 1UP's menace off the board. So it does lie in a 4v4.
Very close there, just trying to trade things back and forth as best they can, having to run away. Nasher down to 50%, but Noxa gets one. I've got to say, I don't think it's all because of this, but that Dokkaebi is definitely doing work for them.
I didn't even realise that a Dokkaebi.
It goes, they had it last time round as well, and it was the distraction that it causes that was just really unsettling the defenders. And for 1UP like a team who've got great anchors and great communication with the roamers, it just completely destroys that team synergy that they've got.
Seems to be now that Fable have the control of the A-bomb site. They have control of the main corridor. 3 members up, a Blackbeard also to go with it. So I don't think this is going to end very well for Kiz, and a 3v1 advantage. His friend is down inside that toilet. And I think that Fable have brought it back into overtime.
They have, and again, I don't want to say it was all about the Dokkaebi, but it's definitely done work for them, and sure enough, they will clean this one up. And I almost like foretold it earlier on at the 4-on-1, saying it would be horrible for 1UP if this suddenly went all the way of Fable. That's exactly the way it's going, and based on the momentum, they've won the last 3 rounds in a row. They might just take overtime here 2-0.
They've definitely changed up their playstyle compared to what they were playing in the first couple of rounds.
Finally, look at that. Ash has finally taken his place.
He's finally doing work.
This is more what I expected to see on map 1 as well. Is Nasher being the one leading the game in terms of kills. Kimbe, you know, to all testament, has done great as well, but is it enough to stop Nasher and his team from just running through them? Doesn't feel like that way after the back of the last 3 rounds.
I think that's also helped Reaction and also Fable in general, is that I believe some of them have switched ops of each other. Reaction has decided to take the sledge, where typically we've seen Nasher take it, and then Nasher decided to take the Ash. So that might be another cause, is that they said, okay, I'm not liking Sledge, I'm not liking Ash, I want to trade, see what happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's working.
I'm not 100% sold on the Pulse pick here, because this is the first time they've taken it, and everything they've been doing so far has been working. So why mix things up? Because 1UP haven't. They're taking exactly the same attacking line that they've been taking pretty much all round or all maps so far. If you're winning, the onus isn't on you to change. It's on the other side to change. And in this case, you're mixing things up by taking this away. I don't really get why you want to change strategy when Nasher especially has been playing so well.
I think that Fable are fearing that A push. They know that 1UP is nowhere near B. They don't go anywhere near it. They don't play anybody on them windows. Nobody on the yellow stairs. 1UP solely take from admin and push from there. Having this Pulse, he is such a strong operator. They also know that 1UP don't push in towards that lobby or piano area. This allows Nasher to then rotate in towards that piano and lobby area. And whenever 1UP push in for the plant, may it be in the dying last seconds, may it be whenever it goes no time left and the attacker has to stick the plant, then that is whenever Pulse is that big impact. I see it a lot in Pro League, where Pulse is almost a must pick for this map, and he is just able to just rain havoc, being able to give all that intel whenever want to push into the bomb site, being able to give the call out for his team, saying he's pushing in now, he's pushing, he's planting in, the C4 goes out, and then Fable win the round up from it.
Can he go for this? Can try and go for the C4. It feels like going to go for it. Ash might catch the kill out here. Gets Kimbe. Top fragger for 1UP is off the field for Fable. As we said, they could 2-0 this overtime, and with Kimbe off the field, that could definitely be a reality. I can't believe they managed to turn this around.
Fable have definitely, that's a counter strat. They have solely chosen that to stop Kimbe. They know that every single push on this particular bomb site, Kimbe sits inside that Visa, close to that pillar, as I'm sure Reaction discovered in the last round whenever Reaction tried the challenge. They know, okay, he's going to be sat here, bring the pulse, C4 him from below. That's one less threat to worry about. Brilliant play.
Really, really good and really sensible. I was doubting the pulse at first, thinking, well, Nash has played super well on everything else he's been playing. Why take the pulse here? But as you say, it's purely to shut down Kimbe, demoralize and take off the head of the snake, and the rest of it will crumble.
And that's going to be then the flanks starting to open up now, as typically Kimbe was just sat downstairs for the majority of the round, ready for the Ela to start rotating up. Now this gives Ela free range to start pushing up them Visa stairs and then in towards and then white stairs, or possibly go for the spiral route, which it does seem to be that he wants to go for instead, which then cuts off any rotation in towards that main hall from 1UP. But at the moment, everybody else upstairs is having a good time, as we do see 2 kills go in the favour of Fable, and then Rami picks up the kill on the Kiz. Nasher finally gets that down kill on the Willow, and Fable take the lead for the first time in this round, or in the series, you say.
It's insane how well they've managed to turn it around, but that was such an aggressive defense as well that it felt, again, when 1UP kind of lose a member, it feels like that strategy they've got planned and the synergy that they had, it kind of falls apart. It becomes a little bit stuck.
We've seen a lot of that last week.
Yeah, look at Nasher, 12 kills. He's really woken up on this map and really starting to shine his into Kimbe. Kimbe, my friend, you may have had a great first map. I'm going to show you what it's like to play on your map, and the curse of first week returns, beating each other on each other's map. However, it's not over just yet. 1UP have got to do something different here. They're going to go for the pulse themselves in a bid to turn this around, dropping the Ela. I like it. Is it going to work? I'm not convinced.
It could be that they want to then do the exact same thing Fable did to them, bringing the pulse, being able to use all the intel from that A-bomb site, and then also being able to give just the intel possibly from below and Visas. Kimbe is going to go straight downstairs, and it is it's a good pick. I honestly like the pulse pick. I think that he's great for some late rotates possibly whenever it comes to him last dying seconds. A-bomb site's always going to be that main area that Fable and 1UP seem to choose. No B sites that are going to be chosen this week.
The big problem here is that Kimbe has already been scouted out. He got spotted by Nash's drone pretty much straight away. So immediately, they're probably laughing to themselves, as we were, thinking, well, they're trying to go for the same strat that we just pulled on them and going to try and put it back onto us and delay us even further. If we go and deal with him straight away, it's exactly the same scenario as last round. 1UP go down to 4 members, they lose their top fragger, and they find themselves in a very precarious position.
This time it seems to be that Fable are spawning towards that northwest side of the maps. That automatically tells me we're going to see a B push, because we've seen Fable and the 1UP always spawn towards that east side of the map. This time they're going to switch it. Yeah, they have a Blackbeard, so they can stick him on that double window and just start raining havoc, being able to control that most of the B bombs, like, except for that little left-hand side corner beside yellow stairs, and then also can have a direct line of sight via the destructible walls if they're not reinforced. Oh, bit of close call for Kimbe. Straight into the heart of the A bomb site as well.
That's enough to put him out of service. His roaming days are over, but Fable are going to be using that opportunity to push in even deeper. So really, the roamer hasn't had much impact, and Kizza goes down. That's the end of Smoke. He should have been sat way back on the point, because your job of Smoke, of course, is to ignite.
Oh, what a shot by Reaction.
What has happened to 1UP? They are falling apart at the seams of Fable with that Dokkaebi once again and making magic happen.
A really good shot. That was such a big kill for Reaction. If he gets the nade, no, he's gone
too soon.
He's an Ash player. Let's not shout at him for not being able to get the nades. I can't do it.
There we go.
There we go. So it seems to be that 1UP have crumbled.
They have absolutely
a big time choke.
They're definitely going to kick in themselves after this, because they had such a good showing at the very start. It's going 4-1 to 6-4. That's 5 rounds in a row they'll have given away after that dominating performance on the first map. However, Fable cannot take it away from them. Have staged an amazing comeback, and it did take them a few rounds to warm up, but once they've warmed up, they have looked fantastic.
This should have been 6 points to 1UP. It should have been 5-1, 5-1, but all of a sudden, Nasher and Reaction have woken up.
Nasher.
And Nasher, the French beast.
He knows.
He's finally came out. Back in the action, and especially on a map like Consulate, a French map. What better way for Nasher to show how good he is as a player?
Well, he said, thank you very much for that one, guys, for basically turning it back around and giving us the map. But that was a great way. I said to you early on, these are the first 2 games I'm really looking forward to, the first 2 on the day, and that